What's up, and welcome back to Cleats to Whistle podcast. I am Brad Valdez, and this is episode 9. And today we have Southern High School head coach Justin HATCHETT.
Sir.
There we go. Here we go. Welcome to the podcast, man. It's an honor to have you on. Like you said, I met him. This is my first time meeting this guy, and this is what it's about. It's about the brotherhood of coaches and bringing community awareness for his program.
Absolutely, man. Once again, I appreciate you stopping by, checking on the little people down here in North Carolina, here on the south side at Southern High School. Like you said, first time meeting, little brotherhood, friends of mine, passed on word, said you wanted to talk. I reached out to you. Here we are.
Here we are, man. So welcome to the podcast, man. And we're just going to jump right into it. It's probably going to be about 15, 20 minutes. And this is for you guys just to get to know Coach HATCHETT. And let's go. The first one is, did you grow up in Louisville?
No, I am from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Bowling Green, Kentucky, down 65.
There you go. So shout out your school, man, and where you're from.
I am a Warren Central Dragon.
There we go. He's a dragon, y'all. He's a dragon. And this is actually the first coach that I've had on the pod that's not from Louisville.
Yeah, man. Starting trends.
Yes. Did you play Little League ball when you were down there?
I did. I played Little League. We don't have organizations so much like they do up here, kind of based on where you go to elementary school
Okay.
and whatnot. But, yeah, we had different divisions. So I played for the Rams and I played for the Falcons back in the day.
There you go. And did you guys win anything, man? Did you guys win state championships or anything?
Nah, we always had to deal with the Bears down there.
Oh, okay.
They had loaded every year. Got all the talent all over the place.
Yeah, that's the same thing with me. I'm from Michigan, and we always played Clinton Redskins, and we could never beat them, man. And it was so frustrating. But finally, my last year of Pop Warner, we finally beat Clinton Redskins, and it was one of my greatest moments. I thought I was going to get this big-ass trophy, but no, they handed us this little one like this big.
Little bitty necklace.
Yeah, I'm like.
Good participation. Certificates.
Yeah, and I thought I was going to get, because the year before, man, they had these monster trophies, and then we get this little thing. I was like, man, come on, man. But, yes, we are here at Southern High School talking to Justin HATCHETT. And what, so you went to what high school?
Warren Central.
Okay, and what position did you play while you were there?
Played a few different spots. When I first got up on varsity, I was playing corner. I was a lot nosy. I was real nosy at corner. So they ended up moving me down to play some defensive end and some rover and stuff like that. But I played tight end and receiver too.
Oh, okay, so you were all over the field.
Yeah.
Obviously special teams too?
Yeah, I never came. Well, by the time I was a senior, I never came off. I just turned around.
That's it. That's all he was doing, just doing this. But, yeah, and did you have a certain number that you wore that had, like, a meaning to you?
Yeah, I was 83. I always wore 83. Andre Reed, my favorite football player of all time.
Okay.
Everybody likes the big names, the Jerry Rices and all them. Andre Reed was a dog, and nobody really he was overlooked. But he was one of those quiet ones that didn't stand out. But if you didn't pay attention, he was gonna bust your butt.
Yep. He was sneaky. But yeah, man, this is and do you have any mentors, man, that you'd want to shout out right now?
Every coach I've ever coached for, ever played for, man. I think I've taken some of everything from everybody, little bits and pieces, all the way from Coach Joe Hood at Warren Central. When I got to college at Kentucky State, was playing Coach Taylor, Cornell Burbage, Coach Smalls, Coach Berry down at Benedict, that just won the championship down there. So I think I take a little bit from everybody, even the coaches that I coach with, like Coach Gossett here. He really taught me what a good program looks like. And then I've also coached with some people that I learned what not to do. You know what I mean? So it's all learning.
We all have those guys, man.
All learning.
Yeah, so that's a shout out to the coaches that actually made him the coach he is today. I got here a little early. I was setting up, but I was over here just peeping around and just watching his kids and the way he communicates with his kids, man. It's man, he's all in on this, and man, just to see, you know what I mean? Because it fires me up when I watch a coach and he's not a scared, you know what I mean? He's not like scared to be like, yo, correct this. You know what I mean? It's summer ball right now, or spring ball, summer ball. Right. And you're like, man, let's get this going right.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it, if we're going to be out here and spending time away from our family and work and stuff like that, like, let's make it mean something, be productive. But I just also, I'm always looking for, give them little nuggets to get better. You know what I mean? That's what we're out here for.
Quick podcast update. We actually partnered with Abbott's Crafts for a 5-episode deal. So from episode 6 to 10, you will see an ad for them. Very excited about this. If you don't know what they do, they actually made custom logo cups. This is actually the 4-in-1. And they made me a custom towel. So go check it out. Big guy season's coming out. You're going to see a lot of dudes walking around wiping their head off. So you might as well go get a custom-made one. So go check them out, Abbott's Craft. We are here at Southern High School with Coach HATCHETT. This guy is a good guy. First time meeting him. And do you have any accolades as a player?
In high school, I had some all-district teams a couple years and stuff like that, special team awards in college, but nothing really major, nothing to talk about.
Oh, okay. So nothing big time, no all-state, no honorable mention, all that. Hey, but you got to respect it, though, because you are a district player. So, you know what I mean? You're getting respect from somebody.
Yeah, somebody thought about it, but yeah, nothing to write home about, nothing to brag about.
So, with you taking over the program, you said you had a guy here that was bringing you up.
Mm-hmm.
And how has that adjustment been? Because you said off camera, you were like, man, I really didn't want to be, a head coach. But a lot of people seen that in you.
Right.
So how are you transitioning into being the head coach?
I don't think the transition was really that hard. It's, like when you're on the staff with a bunch of people and you have a head coach, everybody has their role. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're the attaboy, you're the pick-you-up person, and then sometimes somebody's got to be the disciplinarian and the butthole. And in most cases when I've been here, I've been that disciplinarian person. But as I've changed seats, like I've realized that like I have to adjust a little bit. So I can't be that person at all times. So I have to manage things differently. If somebody else picks up that role now,
yep.
It's me as far as the disciplinarian part goes and the standards to standard, my friend.
Yep.
But I figure it out, and the adjustment, it really hasn't been that much. Coach Gossett did a good job of always putting me in a position to where I had input, and he kind of walked me along the whole way. It's just the biggest difference was now I have to figure out what's going on for fundraising, and I'm doing the grade checks and the paperwork. Other than that, football is football, and he did a good job of making me prepared and whatnot.
Yeah, and with that though, do you have anything you want to promote, as in like fundraising things that you got going on right now, or is it just trying to find that funds coming in?
Yeah, right now we just hustling. I'm doing anything possible to raise a couple coins around here. We were privileged to get a new uniform, so something has to happen with the old one. So I put it out there that any player that I have, any former player that we have, any parent, and you want the old game uniform that we had, pay me for it, and I'll give it to you.
There you go. So yes, if you are an ex, what are you guys? Trojans. If you are an ex-Trojan, hit Coach up. He has that stuff for sale. Yeah, that's all it is about fundraising, and that's crazy because I never even thought about all that. But I've coached with Tori. He's such a good guy with raising money,
right.
And so is Coach Crow. So it's crazy that you got to do all that.
Yeah, it's a challenge for a person like me and my personality. My parents used to get on me all the time because like I won't say nothing, like I won't ask for help. I'm not made that way. I'll figure it out, and I can't. I realize I can't as I get older. I realize I can't do that. And in this position, it's not me asking for help. I'm asking for you to support my boys.
Yep.
So it makes it a little easier, but
Yeah, it's all about the kids, man. Yeah, like you said off camera too. I'm sorry I'm bringing up a lot of off camera, but we talked, for about 10 minutes, and he's such a great guy. You can already feel like he's vibing. We're vibing right now, and it's just because he cares so much. You know what I mean? He's out there coaching his kids right there, and it just shows. You know what I mean? You got a good character, and you're trying to install that into them, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So with your staff, are you allocating like the offense, defense, special teams, or are you gonna be in control of one?
I'm trying to give everybody some kind of ownership to it. Everybody has their position per se.
Yeah.
Like I said, we talked. You've been in Louisville coaching for a while. I'm relatively new to the city and the way things work here, but you understand the struggles that we go through. So you might coach D-line, but you probably going to be on offense too, coaching something.
Yep.
That's just how it has to work.
Yep.
But we have those things allocated. I gave some of my younger – I have a coach that was in there that you met, Coach Gardner. He was my quarterback here a couple years ago, and he came back to be on the staff. I think this is his second or third year actually coaching with us. So people like him, as he's getting his feet wet, to help him progress in the profession, I give him the responsibility this year of being like he's responsible for all special teams, things like that. I mentioned Coach Nelson Jackson. He's a old head in the city of Louisville. I think at one point he was the youngest head coach in the city at Western years and years ago. He's like my Yoda. He's my coach whisperer. Keeps me out of trouble. When I have questions, he's definitely not a yes man. So he likes to make sure I'm on my toes. But he's always been the defensive coordinator the last few years. So I relinquished that from him because he's older. You know what I mean? I want him to enjoy it a little bit more, keep him around a little longer. So we have some other coaches, Brandon Cosby. He came on last year, coaches the DBs. So I dropped it on him a few months ago that you're going to be the DC this year. So prepare yourself.
Prepare, man. Prepare, and that's awesome that you are. You know what I mean? You're mentoring. You're bringing them guys up, and that's another awesome thing that coach is doing here is he's building his staff with ex players and old heads, man. And you need that.
Yeah, you need the difference. Like some things they've experienced more things than I have. They've seen more things that save me some headache later on down the road, or prevent me from going down a path or whatnot. So,
yep. And how do you think? Because man, I'm telling you, guys were on murder. What do they call it? Murderers Row, man. Last year with your schedule, and is that just the same schedule you're going to have this year?
For the most part, once they set the district set, right? So I can't get out of that, right? They redistrict. I thought I had a chance of being dropped back down to 5A, but we were, it's based off the student population and the males and stuff like that. And right before Christmas, we had a huge influx of students, a lot of non-English-speaking students that came in, and they kind of funneled them through us, and we shot back up at the top. So we got stuck still in 6A with Bell and Bullitt East and Fern Creek. So outside of that, we get to kind of maneuver our schedule a little bit. So I try to make as many competitive games as we possibly can in the city outside of district.
Yeah. That's why I told Coach, man, I looked at your schedule last year and I was like, oh my goodness, man. It just came, you know what I mean? What do you got? I think you have Frankfurt and then you have Mail week 2.
Right.
So man, this guy's gonna go through it again, but he looks like he's a leader. He communicates with his guys, and obviously he's been building up his his guys he's got under his wing, man, as a mentor. So that's awesome, man.
Man, one of my biggest goals, like I told the boys, is I want y'all to see what it feels like to be at a big program. We getting some of the things that some of the big programs get that we don't necessarily experienced before.
Yep.
So without the fundraising and things like that, I want to be able to provide them with stuff that they don't have to pay for and things like that. We just recently, I think you've been to more schools than I have in the city. I would put our facilities up with almost anybody in the city as far as the size and the quality in which we have out here. We just recently redid our weight room in there. You saw how we got room to move, we got room to work.
Yep.
Right?
Yes, it is. It is a very good facilities, man. I love it. And this is another question. Are you going to have your annual 7-on-7 here, or are you guys not having that anymore?
So we had that, and that was a big thing for us. And I think we did a good job, and it was well respected because we had tons and tons of
All
support,
over the state.
tons of support here. We backed off of it when COVID hit and whatnot. I was asked, was I going to do it last year, my first year, and I told them no because I need to get my foot wet a little bit. Let me figure out some stuff first before I jump into that.
Yep.
But yeah, that's something that's crossed my mind. Coach Nino Brown over at Atherton, I joined with him. He came up with the idea of having his first minority head coach 7-on-7 league tournament this year on July 15th. And that it's funny, right before we got on, my wife texted my wife or whatnot. She was like, I see where I'm going to be spending my anniversary, right? Only a football coach should get married on the first day of football.
Yes, sir. That's it. That's the guy, though.
Yeah, so I backed off. I'm considering bringing it back later on, maybe next year or so.
Yeah, man, because that was a great event. Man, you guys offered lunch and everything in there. Yeah. It was a phenomenal time. But the only thing is Jesus, man, it was so hot, man.
Yeah,
With that heat index would go up to like 110, 115.
Definitely hot. But like I said, our facilities provide an opportunity for us to do stuff like that. Like we got a beautiful practice field that most don't have. We had fields up there.
Yep.
We had fields behind us on the game field. We were able to have 6 games at once.
Yep.
So, and provided teams with food and rest and all that. So
yeah.
Definitely thinking about it, man.
That's cool. That'd be great, man, because I would love to be out here covering it. And I was gonna ask you, how is your relationship with some of the coaches around here, man? You got a couple guys that you know what I mean, that bring you along, isn't being like, yo, man, help me out a little bit.
Right. So coaching, like you said, is a brotherhood type of deal, and most of the people that's been coaching in Louisville have been coaching for a while, right?
Yeah.
So they've been building for years, I wasn't one to hang out that much, so it took me a minute to get into the vibe, and like I meet the coaches that we play, or I know people from here and there. But as I was getting ready to take the position, I try to make it a point to be out a little more and like do some all-star games and stuff like that just to meet some new people. And it was a great experience, man. I've met a whole bunch of new people. A lot of my college teammates were coaches. LaCunta Farmer, everybody knows Kunta in the city.
Yep.
Just went into the Hall of Fame. My boy Norm, ton of people, man.
Yeah, and then Nino reached out to you. Yeah, man. Hawk, Anthony Richardson.
Hawk's my guy. At Central Dantzler down there.
Yep.
Out at Ballard Morton, what I'm saying, got to know him a little bit.
Yep.
Just able, I can go around the city now. I'm starting to meet people and make a name for myself, I think, and recognize who's who and who I can ask for help at times, because I've definitely done that too.
Yep. That's awesome, man, and this guy right here is a good dude, man. Like I say, it's kind of crazy because I hope you guys are really enjoying this podcast, because I'm getting to know these guys along with you, and that's what it is. Like we always say, brotherhood. You know what I mean? The coaching, you just gotta have each other's back sometimes.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Build community awareness. Got a couple more questions, man, and we're almost done. Do you have any hobbies outside of football?
I used to. Right? I used to. Got married and started having kids, and they become my hobbies. You know what I mean? I got a daughter that lives in Nashville, who's 15, about to turn 16, that does softball and all that good stuff, and going to make sure I spend time with her and see her whenever time allows. And she's getting cool now, so we don't hang out as much. But, that's still a priority to me. I got a son that's in the AAU basketball, traveling all over the place. Got a 6-year-old daughter that's into soccer, and anything she can get into, she's in it. My wife, she's a basketball coach at South Oldham High School.
Okay.
So that's crazy. We vacation on on dead period. That's the 2 weeks we have.
That's all you get.
Spend as a family. I used to ride motorcycles. I sold all them when I moved up here. I get down on the grill. So things like that's what I do. But other than that, it's football. I'm watching something or I'm reading something or something like that.
Yep, screenshot and everything on your phone. You got to do everything. Got to save it. Got to bookmark. Got to do everything, man.
I'm a jotter. I write down everything. I got notebooks on top of notebooks.
Yep.
They made fun of me because they like, you journal? Like, yeah, I journal. I journal all my thoughts. All my thoughts.
Got to, man. You got to. And this is the last question. Is there any players that you'd want to spotlight for this next upcoming season?
Yeah, I think we lost some key people in our senior class that's been there with some experience. For the most part, everybody, majority of, I'd say 90% of my team coming back this year, this is their second year playing football. This season was the first, right? So obviously there was some growth from the first to the end.
Yep.
You could tell.
Yep.
So now I got some expectations set because now you can't say we ain't been here before, right? That's why you see them over there putting in the extra work because it's time now. Like, you can't use I haven't been here before. But, yeah, I think I have a few players that I'm going to expect to flip the switch this year. Our quarterback, Calvin Cafando, he transferred over last year from Seneca. I think some of the new environment and whatnot played a part in some of his stuff last year. But I definitely think he slimmed down. He slimmed down quite a bit. Came back in a lot more shape, hit the weight room hard. I think he's out here focusing on his mechanics, and I think he'll end up having a good year with the ball in the air.
There we go.
Some of the other players, Tay Hobson, I think he's going to turn on for me at receiver. He mostly played defense last year. In the JV games last year at the end of the season, he kind of turned on a little bit, caught my eye a little bit from the stands.
There we go.
So I started making sure I worked him in and got him some reps. All my secondaries is going to be year 2, so that'll be Ellis and Tim Duval and Marshawn Rogers. My running back is coming back for his second year, big kid. If you've seen any of the Instagram videos of the Hispanic kid moving weight.
Okay.
He's our running back, Marlon. I expect him to figure it out a little bit, right? He a boxer by trade.
Okay.
So he isn't really trying to make you miss. Like, he's wanting to run into you.
He's ready. He's built like that though.
Yeah, he definitely ate his Wheaties, right? But I think we get him. I think he's comfortable being in the backfield now, and we're gonna work on making some people miss now. Use that jab a little bit, give you some space, and go for it, man. I think DeAnthony Vaughn. As I look over in the field,
there you go.
My big guy right there running routes. He's my guard. He's a guard.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. He's a guard. So he's got nice size to him.
Oh, and he's got some feet too, man.
Got some run. He's dying to play fullback. But I told him, if you don't find me no lineman, you can't move. You can't move until you find me somebody to replace you with. So he's begging. He's all over the school hallways begging.
There we go, man. This is a great podcast. We are here at Southern High School with Coach Justin Hatchett. This is a great episode, man. And I just want to say thank you very much for coming on. And like I always say, everyone has a story. I'm here for them to tell it. Cleats to Whistle podcast.